Yes, and that's why we scheduled 3 of these. The first one in Buxton on April the 13th, so the people down on the island down in Hyde County will have an opportunity, the same. And then we'll move up to Ocracoke, or be the second one. And then the third one, of course, will be up here in Kill Devil Hills. And that's kind of spreading it up and down the island as best we can to give everybody an opportunity to come out, listen to us. We appreciate the feedback also, because we're going to be also participating. We're going to be filing our documents with the National Park Service. So feedback that we get is always good.
Well, y'all seem pretty well, more than fairly open-minded. It seems like y'all are open to learning new tricks, as it were. If somebody comes up with a point of view, or maybe a somewhat different perspective on the same issue, it looks like y'all are open to hearing what they have to say as well, which I think is admirable.
Absolutely.
Yes, and and the folks at the access caucus, so to speak, the many seats around the negotiated rulemaking table that supported access to the beach. All of us came from a little bit different direction. There were folks that wanted a lot more, and there were folks that wanted a lot less, but we took the negotiated part of that process very seriously, and we were ready. We rolled up our sleeves, and we were ready to make the deal, to give on this point, you give on that point, and come up with something that we all maybe not like in 100%, but we all could live with it. We made a good deal to give man access and give bird protection. 19-5 was the vote in favor on the final day, except the rules said it had to be unanimous. So yes, we're open. Well, we're open today, and Jim, give them the times and locations of the workshops, and keep in mind for those folks that are listening, these workshops are just in preparation for the real stuff, which happens the week of the real meetings, which happened the week of April 26th, which is the testimony into the federal record.
Which also is coming up fast and furious.
Yes, sir.
And if you can't make the workshops, you can also submit your information in written format, in a letter to Mike Murray, and the address we have that published. And you could also do it electronically by keying into the National Park Service and making your entry electronically. So don't feel if you can't make the Park Service scheduled meetings that you can't participate. You can. There are 3 different ways you can make yourself heard. And these programs that we're putting on April the 13th at 6:30 p.m. in Buxton at the Cape Hatteras Secondary School will be the first one. April the 14th at 7 p.m. in Ocracoke at the Community Building. And April the 15th in Kill Devil Hills at First Flight High School. Come out, let us work with you, ask your questions, listen to what we have to say, and then prepare to participate in the final ruling. This is democracy at work.
It is, in fact.
This is how it's supposed to work, and that's how the NEPA program was written. Congress, they cannot enact a new rules and regulations without going through the National Environmental Protection Act, the Environmental Policy Act. And the Policy Act was written so that to include the citizens of the United States, and that's what we're asking.
Of which each and every one of you hearing this right now are citizens of the United States. This is a civics class that you can apply in real issues.
Absolutely, and Scott, a good point to make. This whole thing's a lot bigger than Jim and Warren. We just happen to be the voices of our groups that have put us in the position to be responsible to get out and carry the message. But this reaches everybody in Dare County, and it reaches way beyond Dare County. Right. We're a huge employer for Northeast North Carolina, and we're a vacation spot for a great portion of this country. And the first business that I'm aware of that went out of business, had to close down, the people lost their home, was a business in Kill Devil Hills. That Oregon ended up being closed down, and the closures on Hatteras Island just dried up their business. They just lost it, and so this is just not a Hatteras Island issue.
It does ripple up and down the coast.
Absolutely does. And if another thing, if folks can take away from this today is take the time to be involved in this. Another illustration of does the NEPA process really work? Do I really have a say? A handful of people, and I mean this when I say a handful of people, have used the NEPA process to delay the Bonner Bridge replacement. That bridge went through
We were
an
talking about that.
that bridge went through an 8-year process to reach a decision that was made almost 3 years ago. And this NEPA process, the ability to go in and ask questions and demand answers, has delayed it. It's delayed once again because the question was asked, aren't the man-made ponds on Pea Island cultural and historical because they were developed and built by the CCC and the WPA during the Depression. And so folks, we do have power. We do have power. We need to use it. And if I just try to point that out as a good analogy of
Right.
a good example of how people are using the system, and we need to use the system.
It's your system too, after all.
Absolutely.
You know, it is your system, and again, be involved, or you know, you'll be sitting at home saying, "Well, I can't go to the beach," and blah 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 blah, and you know, doggone type of clovers, and you know, all this stuff. And meanwhile, where were you when the?
Don't wait till April 1st, 2011, when the rule goes into effect.
That's right, folks. Remember, Tuesday in Buxton, Cape Hatteras Secondary School at 6:30. Wednesday, the 14th in Ocracoke at the Community Building. Thursday, April 15th, right after you file your taxes at the First Flight High School at KDH. Need more information, go to preservebeachaccess.org. Warren Judge, Jim Keene, always a pleasure. And Warren, you are looking mighty fine.
Oh, well.
Can't wait to see you on the cover of GQ.
Well, thank you. I'm leaving here heading to the gym.
Gentlemen, thank you very much, and let us know how that goes. We'll see you at the workshops.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks, stay right where you're at. If you got any questions about those dates, again, we'll put it up on our website, but you can call us here at 441-4566. Back in a minute with Garth Brooks.